Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Filmed in beautiful Treasure Island, Florida, with our president and CEO, Andy Albright.
Thank you, Billy. All right. Thank you guys for plugging in today, whether you're looking through NAA television or whether you're calling in listening to the audio. It will be recorded and it will be available for you later. I know several of you are texting and you're out in the field picking up checks, making money, and you'll watch this later. That is fine. Somebody's been picking up checks. I got some numbers for you. It'll be extremely interesting for you if your name is called out. If your name is not called out, this will be a little bit boring for you. Marcus Richardson this past week issued $9,200 in a week. $9,200 in a week. And he was number 12 in the country. Everybody over number 12 is over 10,000 issue paid business in a week. 11 people over 10,000. This is a strong week. Robert Wilson issued 6 apps for 10 grand. Adam Johnson, 11 apps for 10.5. Jonathan and Megan Yakey, 13 apps for 10.9. Jeff Turner, 8 apps for $11,000. Mia Fennell, 17 apps for $11,800. Paul Menachino, 12 apps for $11,800. Evan Patzer, 7 apps for $12,500. Debbie Ben, 8 apps for $12,600. Number 3 in the country with 15 apps. He's been trying to do this. He did it. 15 apps, $13,000. Junior Korea. 20 apps, $13,600. Michelle Allman. And leading the country this week in issue paid with 38 apps issued in a week, Megan Wood, for $17,000 in premium. Smoking. And you say, well, that's this week, Andy. What do you think about next week? Let me tell you what's happening next week. Submitted so far this week, top 3 in the country. Marvin Oitsoy, 17 apps for $22,000 submitted. Jeremy Patton has submitted $24,000 in premium that we should be hearing about getting the issue paid next week. And Paul Menachino, listen to this, $34,000 issue paid. Smoking. 16 applications. Good stuff, Paul Menachino. I see we just added those as a link so that people can look at them. That's cool. On Zoom. Okay, let's go to top 5 annuity producers. Austin Heater got him one issued at $80,000. Terry Edwards got one issued at $100 grand. Joe and Tony Walker got one at $101 grand. Brant Swindell got 2 issued at $141,000. And Mike Swells got $225,000 annuity issue. What a smoking week issue paid. Let's talk about Forrester, since that is our mother company. Junior Korea led the country, and he's number 3, I should say, in the country issue paid Forresters with $3,400. Sean Quigley come rolling in at $4 grand, number 2 in the country with Forresters. Good job, Sean. That means you moved up on the Forresters contest for cash. Adam Johnson, number 1 in the country with $6,200. You moved up too, Adam. Y'all can get some extra bonuses, extra cash. How about recruiters? Who's bringing people into this deal like a maniac? Number 10 in the country, Mickey Mitchell, contracted 3 agents direct to him. John Thorman, 4 agents. Way to go, John. That's 2 weeks in a row on the leaderboard, buddy. You new to the leaderboard. Keep hammering it out. Will Paris, Joker's coming on strong in recruiting and selling. 4 direct contracts. Paul Roberts, 4 direct contracts. Stephen Davies, 4 direct contracts. This week, boys and girls, men and women, ladies and children of all ages. Mike and Noel Leventovich, 6 contracted direct to them. Andy Riddle, number 3. He's not used to being number 3 in the country. For the week, 6 direct contracted to him. Number 2 in the country, Kyle Cater with 9 direct contracts, and Jason Mathis showing his stuff, 9 direct contracted recruits. That's coming on strong, Jason. As a matter of fact, let me show y'all. I think I got year-to-date recruiters in here. I want to share that with you. think I can pull it up pretty quick. Yeah, here we go. Let's do year to date just for let's do month to date because that'll tell you who's coming on strong. Month to date recruiters. Olga and Jason have 12 month to date. Riddle has 9. Paul Roberts, 9. Diane Lampy, 7. And Kyle and Janina Wilson, 6. Month to date recruiters. Nice. Jake and Bill Krause has 6. Will Perry has 5. John Davis, 4. All right, I got it. Fruit leaderboard. Yours are, yep, right on track. Same thing I've got. Almost. Those are not matching up with what mine are. I'm reading the ones that Chris Shepard gave, and they don't match what you're showing here, just so you know. I don't know what's different between those leaderboards and what he put up.
The dates.
What's that?
The dates.
Yep. The dates will make a difference. Year to date, what was yours? Yours older than mine or newer?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look.
Okay. All right. Year to date. Andy Riddle is leading the country with 120. Kyle Cater has 90. So Kyle Cater has been coming on strong in recruiting with 90 direct recruits. Mike and Noel Leventovich, number 3, was 69. So those are the top 3 year to date. Jason and Tawny not far behind. Jason Mathis is coming on strong. Jake and Bill Krause strong. Will Perry coming on strong. Paul Roberts, Diane Lampy, and Brandon Beal rounds out the top 10. I'll give Adrian credit because he is tied for number 10. All right, guys. All right, so I want to do some leaderboards. We had new people win Thailand. That trip is going on. Let me see. I had the list of people that won. New Adam Johnson and Mark Hutchinson and Jonathan and Megan Yakey are new to the Thailand. So I guess these guys are now going for the extension for Chiang Mai. So if you're brand new, we're doing Phuket for the first trip, Chiang Mai for the second half of the trip. And by the way, all of these leaderboards are posted on the ARC. You can go there and make sure you're clicking through. There's multiple pages. They're listed on band. So make sure that you are reposting and make sure that you're letting your friends know where you stand and where they stand as far as agency managers. I want to do top producers for a little bit. Top producers, issue paid, everything. All right, here we go. Top producers, issue paid. They're putting up all kinds. I don't know what y'all got. See, I'm reading off of Chris Shepard's reports that he sent me. So let's do this. Top issue paid producers. Month to date, James and Jane have $50,000 issue paid. That is annuities, life, MedSup, everything combined. DJ Jennings has $30,000 issue paid month to date. Mike Swells has $24,000. Megan Wood, $23,000. Listen to me. Month to date, and it's only through the 12th. Okay? I'm sorry, it's only through the 11th. And these people, $50,000, $30,000, $24,000, $33,000 issue paid through the 11th of May. Are y'all listening to me? Brant Swindell has $21,000. Mia Fennell already has $19,000 through the 11th. She's going for $50,000 this month. I guess everybody else is too. Diana Silva has $18,000 issue paid through the 11th. Paul Menachino, $17,000 through the 11th. Junior Korea, $17,000. Evan Patzer, $17,000. Terry Edwards, $16,000. Jake and Beret Joseph, $15,000. Billy Crane, $14,000. Joe Walker, $14,000. Robert Bailey, $14,000. Mike and Michelle Allman, $13,000. This is smoking. Through the 11th, we already have 31 people over 10,000 issue paid. Through May 11th, 31 people over 10,000. You guys are smoking. This month is going crazy. Must be because those people are all scared about COVID and y'all are out there selling like crazy. Okay, sorry about the difference in the leaderboards. We'll get it right. They're all being updated, and you can check them out on band, and they'll be extremely accurate right there. And you can see where you stand as far as the competition. Now, I know I know a lot of people don't like competition. They don't like to be compared to others. But what I say is it gives me, for me, when I look at other people in the world, it gives me something to shoot for. And I get mad when I lose. I don't like coming in second. I don't think it's cute when people say, good for Megan Wood. I think it's kind of, I'm more like, really? Good for Megan Wood? How about good for you? How about you and your family? How about you and yours? I'm a competitor. I know Riddle is a competitor. I know Kyle Cater's a competitor. I know Chris Long is a competitor. So I'm looking for competitors. If you say, I just like to see how I can do, okay. All right, I'm just telling you how you rank. Check out these leaderboards. And if you want to win, you want to be number one, you want to recruit, you want to sell, you want to build, you want to win, you want to travel with us. We like competitors. We just think that's cute when people compete. All right. I want to do more leaderboards. I really do. I'm probably going to come back to them, as a matter of fact. Who is this?
Albright.
Yeah.
For the recruits, the report you're reading from Chris Shepard, it's showing you with recruits. So like Kyle and Janina Wilson have 6.
What's your point?
I'm sorry. No, you're right. Go ahead. You're good. They're just ran differently. They're 2 completely different reports. So I'll pull up whatever you want me to pull up. The pretty reports is normally what we read off on the TWC, and I can pull that up for you.
Okay. Do you pull it up and I'll read them. Recruiters. I don't see how it would be different than Shepard's though. So month to date, Kyle Cater's winning. And I got month to date. He's tied. I got him tied with Olga and Jason. So that's right. Mike and Noel have 11. That's correct. Riddle has 9. So that's right on line. Those are exactly the same. Diane Lampy has 7. That's exactly the same. Kyle and Janina Wilson, 6. I got 6 here. Go year to date. Do you scroll down? Do you have year to date on there? Okay, Riddle has 120. Kyle and Shar has 90 direct recruits. Mike and Noel 69. We're on track. I don't know how I got off track. They're right on track. Thank you. We'll probably come back to that. See, part of being on a team is winning. Part of being on a team is having somebody to fight against, to fight with, to compete with. If you have a partner walking down the beach, you're going to walk further. If you're walking on a railroad just on one half the track, if you have a person on the other track that you can lean against and pull against, you guys can walk for miles without falling off. I've seen it every time. I think the most famous is on, it might be on The Longest Yard, but it's a Christian movie. And this kid is crawling on all fours and he's got another kid on his back. And they were seeing how far they could go. And they blindfolded him. And everybody was screaming for him and cheering with him to encourage him. And he went like more than he'd ever went before in his life. It's the encouragement. It's the competition. It's the teamwork. It's sticking together. As a matter of fact, what I'm talking about today is along those lines. It's talking about a book called Fierce Conversations. And I really want to send this out to all my leaders across the country. I had this conversation yesterday with Mia Fennell. I had this conversation today with Ethan Doerr. I had this conversation with Stephen Davies. I was texting about it. There needs to be a lot more conversations out there. And I want to tell you how and why and what on these conversations. We anticipate coming out with some massive, massive opportunities. One called the Super PAC, Super Producer Appreciation Chart, where producers can get promoted based on production and based on finding other high producers. So this would be in addition to the levels chart and a way to recognize, promote, and send bonuses and paychecks to producers. And you and the agency managers and the leadership is going to be rewarded on how many people they get to produce. So if you think it's just going to naturally happen, you are mistaken. People need conversation. They need teamwork. They need camaraderie. They need encouragement. They often need fierce conversation. Now, the book talks, the number one thing that the lady's talking about, fierce conversations, you got to be able to have a fierce conversation with yourself before you can have it with others. But you can have it with others before you had it with yourself. It just might not be as effective. So it's a fear. I'm going to talk about you having a fierce conversation with yourself and you having fierce conversation with others. This is a touchy statement that I'm going to make. I've got leaders that are either trying to hold people down and keep them from getting promoted, or they don't know that they need to have conversations with them to get them to move up. Because if a guy has talent and skill and he's been at the same position forever or for a long time, maybe someone's putting a lid on him, or maybe somebody don't know how to get him to come up. You see the thought process there? We need fierce conversations. We need encouragement. If you watch these football teams, basketball teams, businesses, somebody's leading the charge, and then they have other people leading the charge. One person can't do it. We need everybody, and this is a shout out, call out to my leadership. I need you having these conversations, more of them, with the new levels chart, with the new super PAC coming out. You're going to need to have these conversations with your people. You're going to need to be clear, concise, motivational, enthusiasm. I want to tell you exactly how you want you to do it out of this fierce conversation. So this is a fierce conversation I'm having with my leadership. So I'm not leadership. I'm just brand new. You're the kind of person that we're looking for. The one that said, I'm not leadership. I'm brand new. You're who I'm looking for because you're clear and concise and simple. Okay, here we go. Oh, hey, before I get this commercial, we can produce leads like nobody else in the country, cheaper than anybody else in the country, and more of them and higher quality. But what we can't do is produce them in places they're not requested. Because if they're not requested and we produce them, they're going to go to trash and cost a fortune. So we have this thing called a geographical mailing request. We are going to honor and respect that, meaning we will create leads like a banshee, like crazy, like fanatical, where GMRs are turned in. Mia Fennell, I mentioned earlier, she ordered $1,056 worth of leads this week to kick the week off. Of course, that's why I'm calling her out for high issue paid, because she invests like crazy. One of our statements is you can't poop like an elephant if you eat like a butterfly. You can't even poop like an elephant, you eat like a bird. You're going to have to eat big to poop big. You're going to have to buy leads to produce. But we can't produce leads except for they're requested. So these GMRs are going to become critical when you hire a new person in an area, getting that GMR request in quick so that we can start mailing so that we can get producing. And once you've turned it in, you are responsible for that. So if you say, well, if I turn it in, change my mind, can I stop? You can, but you're going to be responsible for those leads coming in because we can produce like crazy. Mortgage protection and final expense. So just be aware, you need to eat big. If you're going to produce big premium, you need to have those GMRs in. That's a fierce conversation about a subject that's near and dear to my heart right now. So I'll make sure everybody's hearing it. Okay. So slide 1, having fierce conversation at the right time. Hope that was the right time for the conversation about the leads. So let's go to slide number 2. Here we go. Conversation is the relationship. If you're not having a conversation, you're not having a relationship. We can affect change. If your organization is a bunch of wussies and low producers and low recruiters, a conversation can change the situation. Information, conversations can change the situation with ourselves and with others. Okay? We can change ourselves, we can change others with robust conversations, or otherwise known as fierce conversation. All right, let's look at the different things that come into play with a conversation. Moral courage, the ability to stick to what's right despite the risk of adverse consequences. How about this? If I say what I'm supposed to say that's the right thing, somebody might get embarrassed. I might get embarrassed. They might get embarrassed. Adverse situation. Listen to this. Our organization that I'm responsible for all of it, but our base has recently just took a huge uptick. And I'll tell you why I think it is. Because of some fierce conversations with some individuals. Individuals, not everybody, not a team call, but an individual call that I put out to some individuals. Hey, listen, I need to chat with you. It didn't start out like that. It started out more brutal. But it goes like this. I would rather you, Adam Katz, I would rather you drill a mile deep looking for water, one hole a mile deep, than 100 holes a foot deep, 100 holes 2 foot deep, 100 holes 3 foot deep. Pick a spot, drill deep. Pick an individual like Paul Menachino. Pick an individual like Bailey. Pick an individual and drill deep for water. Drill deep for power. Drill deep conversation with a few people. All right. People that don't have fierce conversations, they usually have poor moral courage, meaning they just don't have principles. They're scared. I'm going to move on from that. I'll come back and touch on it. Clear requests. So number one, you got to have a stance, stick to it, and not be scared. Don't be a wussy when it comes to what needs to be said. Don't be weak. Don't be a baby when it comes to what needs to be said. You got to say what needs to be said. All right, clear request. Clear requests are specific about what is required. It's unbelievable how many times I talk to a person and somebody has not talked to them about the basics. I was looking at this lady in the company, not one annuity this year, been in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of houses, but not one conversation has been had with her, or if the conversation they had was ineffective. How do you miss this? How do you miss this as a leader and not have a conversation about a basic? The basics are this. You got to get a check or pick up the phone. You got to get referrals. You got to find safe money, annuities, and you got to recruit. How do you leave off one of the basics? How does that happen? Clear requests are specific about what is required. This person is missing out on thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars a year by not producing an annuity. How's that possible? Lack of fierce conversation, lack of coaching, lack of teaching, lack of expectation, clear request of what is required, from whom, by when. From whom is this request coming from, and when does it need to happen? Perhaps the most critical is about establishing a culture in which requests are interpreted as expectations, not demands. You better write an annuity, ain't gonna go across good. How is it possible with your talent that you're not selling annuities? I would expect you to be able to do this better than anybody else. delivering with expectations what needs to be done by who and when is huge. So Andy, we'll talk to him about annuities. What do you mean by what? You should find money in 3 out of 10 houses. You should be able to flip 2 of them. You should be able to move 2 annuities in 10 houses that you're in the house. What if I'm only moving 2 in 20? Well, you need to improve. What if I'm moving none in 30 homes? That's not good. We need to figure out what and how, and forget the dadgum why. Why we're doing it. Get the why. Let's what and how. Apparently, you need to what and the how on the annuity. See what I'm saying? So you need clear requests. Okay. The best leaders talk to people, don't demand. Kyle Cater moved down to live close to me in Burlington. And one of the things he said he learned, he said, I can't believe how you talk to your secretary and your staff just like people. I was like, bro, they is people. They are people. They was people. Just people. Conversations and expectations, not demanding. So if I'm demanding this person, how about this? Clearly, cleanly, calmly. Clearly, cleanly, calmly. Hopefully I'm clear about the personal annuities. We're still on slide 2. You're lost. Okay. Clearly, cleanly, calmly. High expectations. Expecting people to produce. Not being demanding. All right. Third thing, taking actions. To get others to do something or act. You're the leader, which means you lead people, you get them to act in order to get a result. Here's another thing. Are you making phone calls just to keep me happy, or are you trying to book appointments? I love Olga Mathis said that when she used to make phone calls, she would hang up on people when they answered. I thought that was so funny. I was like, you hung up on the people? She said, yeah, I was scared. I was like, what's you scared of? She said, I don't know. Clearly, calmly get people to act with the intention of creating a result. I don't want you to do the green sheet just to do the green sheet. I want you to do the green sheet so you can do annuities. Why do I want you to do annuities? So your income goes through the roof, so you can pay for leads and travel. So your downline will copy you, and then you'll get overrides. So we can protect people from the fluctuations of the stock market. There's a ton of reasons why we need to do annuities, but it's the what and the how that we need to be clear with and teach people how to do it and expect them to do their job. If you don't expect them to do their job, they probably won't. Where's the leadership? Where's the person that is expecting them to do this? Okay. By the way, recruiting. If a person's not recruiting, you're like, oh, come on, let's talk about this. Let me tell you why. So you tell them the why and the how and the what. And then you prop them up. Fierce expectations, fierce conversations changes the situation. All right. Fierce is an attitude, a way of conducting business, a way of leading, a way of life. All right. Here's another line for you along the lines of taking action. Are you ready to stop limping? Are you ready to take off your shoe, pull out the stone, put your shoe back on, and let's run? Why do you want to run with a limp? We say, Andy, what's causing the limp? Attitude, lack of fierce conversations with yourself, hadn't got mad at yourself, your boss man hadn't got mad at you. I want to get mad at you, and I want you to get mad at yourself. I want to be mad at me because I ain't said nothing to you about recruiting. I want to be mad at myself. I don't be mad at you. You don't want me mad at you. What do you want me to do? I don't expect you to fail. I expect you to win. If I expect you to fail, now I just shrug my arms and go, she sucks. He's terrible. He's pathetic. He can't have what I got. No, I got high expectations. Okay. All right. We're going to get down deep now. The 7 principles of conversation, fierce conversation. Let's go to slide 3. I'm going to buzz through these real quick. Susan Scott is the one that wrote this book about fierce conversation. The courage to interrogate reality. That's a big deal. I'm going to move on. Come out from behind yourself into the conversation and make it real. Quit pussyfooting around. Tell it like it is. Be here. Be prepared. Don't be anywhere else. Be in the moment. Heard that before. Tackle the toughest challenge today. Eat the frog. Eat the big problem. Obey your instincts. What's your heart? What's your gut say? Take the responsibility for your emotional wake. You're the one that's causing the problem for yourself. You're the one that's causing the problem for somebody else. Let silence do the heavy lifting. Okay, let's get into it. Number one, interrogate reality. Next slide, 4. All right. The person who can muster the moral moral courage to accurately describe reality without laying blame. Okay. Your job is to have high moral fiber, accurately describe the problem, and don't blame anybody. So if I said, are you currently married? No. Have a girlfriend? Yeah. Are they living with you? Yeah. No blame, no accusations. Divorce, second time, third, cool. Kid, they got a kid died. Okay, kid. No, hey, kid's crazy, kids don't. Hey, I'm just trying to understand. Seeking understanding is when you interrogate reality. Let me get this straight. You didn't make any phone calls yet? Well, I've been sick. My mother's been here. Time out. I'm just trying to understand. Have you made any phone calls yet? Interrogate reality by morals, accuracy, and without laying blame. Interrogate reality. Mia, when you're talking to this Z guy or Des, interpret reality. First, figure out where we are. Do you have any money in the bank? Well, had a situation come up. You have any money in the bank? You have a car? You got gas money? Okay, you got gas money. Will your mama let you go out at night? Will your girlfriend let you travel? Will your wife let you travel? I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying to interpret reality. Most people can't even get through step 1 and interpret reality without blaming. What's wrong with you? You're not making no phone calls, you lazy son of a gun. You shouldn't listen to your husband. Your husband's just a dickhead that just don't work. He's a lazy bum. You need to make the calls yourself. Chill, pill. Let's find out what the situation is. Maybe he's got a gun. Maybe she don't want to make phone calls. Let's try to figure out reality with a high set of morals, figuring out what's the actions are taking place, and let's figure this thing out. Okay, moral. Let's do this. Concerned with the principles of right and wrong and the principles. Let me tell you this. The principles. Is your position defendable? If you say I ain't made no phone calls, I go like, hey, tell me why. And if you say, I got no reason, I go, all right, I got it. Got no reason. I'm in. All right. Let me tell you this. Adam Katz, I called one of my boys. I'm texting him. I'm talking to his downline. I said, I don't think your upline's awake. He's not out selling. So then when we did call back, I was like, wake the fuck up. God almighty, dude, we're trying to get rich. All right, was you asleep? Yeah. Was you out late last night selling or up late like 3 o'clock doing pending? No. What the heck, Bo? We got to get up and get after them. We can't get rich laying in the bed, out of the shade and into the heat, out of the bed and onto your feet. Let's go get rich, Bo. Confrontation with high moral standards. Okay. Walking with maturity. I told Jeff Bright, I said, does that mean not being a little bitch? He's like, you can't say that on TWC. I was like, walking with maturity, not being a little baby. How about that? He said, that'll work. Not being a little baby. Walking with, do what you're supposed to do. Get up and brush your teeth. Get up and floss. Get up and get on the phone. Get up and check your text. Get up and check band. Get up and check your email. Get up. Let's go. Get a book. Read a little bit out of this book you've been talking about. Read. Can you walk with maturity? Wendy, you said a word. Good job. Good job. Good job catching that. Moral authority. Let's move on to accurately. Okay. This one is going to hurt somebody's feelings. What each of us believes to be true simply reflects our views, okay, about reality, which affects our ability to see reality. Okay, this is complicated but simple. All right. I grew up in a Christian home believing that Jesus is the Son of God. If I grew up in a Jewish home fighting the Germans, didn't believe Jesus was the Son of God, I'd be a different person. You understand that? If I grew up Mormon, I'd believe what Mormon thinks. If I grew up Church of Latter-day Saints, I would believe what they think. The way you grew up determines your view, and your ability to not understand that will screw you. You've got to understand that what you've been through comes through in what you see through. What you've been through comes through in what you see through. The lens that you look through has to do with your history from Amway, your history from Jehovah's Witness, your history from Methodist, your history from United Church of Christ, your history from prison, your history from Australia, your history from Haiti. Everything you see is determined by the things you have seen in the past. And your ability to recognize and understand that is your ability to move forward. One of my buddies, his family believes that you don't recognize your children's birthdays. He said, heck with that. I'm going to recognize my children's birthday. I was like, in other words, his history made him think one way. He said, screw that. I'm doing it anyway. I go, thinking for yourself, are you? You see what I'm saying? Like everybody has their interpretation of what they saw and what they see. Okay, so when I say accurately, that's when I say, how many phone calls you make? I don't know, 35 or 40. What? Look at your sheet of paper. Count them. How many is it? 36. Okay, why'd you say 35 or 40? It's 36. Why are you trying to trick me? Well, here's what they're doing. They're trying to trick you because they don't want to be nailed down, because they don't want to be seen, okay? They don't want to be recognized. All right, listen to this. Tons of people let their past direct their future. Your past don't have to be your future. All right. So if we do this, nothing worse than an idea rooted in excessive certitude. I'm telling you, that man is going to die and go to hell. I'm telling you. Like, how do you know? He might get saved right before he dies. How do you know? He might do something good when you wasn't looking. How are you so excessively certituded? How do you know so damn much is what I'm wondering. I always tell people, arrogance and brokenness combined is not attractive. Knowing every damn thing and not having every damn thing don't make no sense to me. And I don't know nobody that's got every damn thing. So I don't know. It annoys you know what I mean when people know everything. I'm telling you, it's better to live in Florida. I'm telling you. That's for your interpretation based on your views. Okay. By the way, these people are typically sensitive. Okay? All right, I'm getting ahead of myself with blame. All right. There's a saying that we say, if not for the grace of God, there go I. I would think like Adam Katz thinks if I grew up like Adam Katz. If I grew up like Alex Avian, Filipino Heritage, Air Force Academy, I would think like Alex Avian thinks. So the ability to accurately listen to the thoughts without judging is huge, without taking your skewed view of the past and telling them what's what. So Andy, how does all this cultural stuff tie in to the four basics? Perfectly. That's how it ties in. Your ability to think and understand stuff and ask questions and try to accurately understand the situation without casting blame or judgment. Okay. All right, let's go. If I'm tired as hell and I say I slept till 10, I can justify that. But not on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. not on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, what if you're partying all night? Dude, how you going to justify that when you don't have the stuff you want? So your ability to justify your actions is huge when it comes to accuracy. All right, let's go to blame. So interpreting reality requires sticking to your high morals or your principles, accurately describe the situation, what your beliefs are compared to your views. What do you believe based on your past? What's your actual view? Because your belief determines your view. Let's go to blame. What happens when versions of the truth are in competition? Multiple realities are not competing. Jeff Bright might vote this way. I might vote that way. Jeff Bright might like Chick-fil-A. I might like my mother-in-law's chicken. Adam Katz might like this. I might like that. Do you understand we're not competing with each other? I don't blame him for the way he thinks. He don't blame me for the way I think. I'm just trying to interpret reality. That's all I want to do. You believe this, I believe that. You voted here, I voted there. You went here to town, I went there to town. I get it. There's not competing. When people are stuck in their old ways, they blame people. I had a friend, he told Adam Katz one day, he said, here's the reason you ain't doing good. Adamson is of Hebrew Jewish descent. And my friend told him, he said, you ain't doing good in our business because you don't believe in Jesus. And I said, what did you say to him? He said, I told him he don't believe in Jesus. Okay? And I was like, why would you say that? He's like, that's his problem. That guy's jacked up in the head. The reason Adam Katz wasn't making any money because he wasn't making any phone calls. If Adam believed that Jesus was the devil and made phone calls, I'm telling you, he would have been having more success. Like what? How did you let that seep into your discussion? Like how did you let that seep in there? That, meaning my crazy friend Matt is his name. And you remember Matt from 24 years ago? Yeah, I remember him because he had all this jacked up. He was laying blame because he was jacked up and he wanted some reason away from accurate truth, which was number of phone calls. Adam would want me to say he does believe Jesus, Son of God. He would say he would want you to know that, but he would say back then Matt was crazy. Is that like, in other words, and a lot of people get all freaked out when I say something like this, like, calm down. I'm telling you a story that's true, that's verifiable, and that's it. And let's move on. Don't be complicated about it. The accuracy is when people start blaming stuff that has nothing to do with the situation. The reason I'm unsuccessful is because my daddy touched me too much when I was little. No. Because the next guy you ask, why are you so successful? Because my daddy touched me too much when I was little. What? You see, neither one of those, he touched him too much. My dad didn't love me. That's why I became successful. Another guy, how come you're homeless? My dad didn't love me. You're blaming stuff that has nothing to do with the program. Accurately figuring out what the hell's going on has to do with you not taking all your past visions. All I want to understand is what's accurately going on. Are you getting referrals? Well, I need to get better. Are you getting referrals? I'm trying to. Just tell me yes or no. Tell me 2. Tell me 1. Tell me 3. Just tell me, please. No, I'm not trying to blame you because you're tall and white. I'm not trying to blame you because your earrings and your eyelid. I don't care. I just want to know if you got referrals. I'm just trying to accurately figure out where you are. That's all. Okay, most people won't do that. They'll pick blame. They'll jump all over the world, but they don't want to nail people down in the situation that they have going on. Like, hey, Andy, I'm not sure if I'm going to come to this meeting or not. It's a long ways away. Mm-hmm. You have any money back? Mm-hmm. Do you have any appointments booked this week? Mm-hmm. Do you have any credit card availability? Mm-hmm. See, I can ask a lot of questions and figure out who people are without placing blame. Can you? I've got my standards. I've got my expectations. I've got my morals. I can defend it. Can you defend the fact that you said a bad word earlier? Hey, look, yeah, I can defend it. Not everybody's perfect like you. That's a sarcastic defending. Another way is, I was trying to get your attention because it hadn't worked so far when I talked plain. So that's what I was trying to do, is trying to get some dadgum results. Dad burn it, dad brain it. Well, I know one other thing about you. shut up. So daggum blaming and accusations and high horse mentality. Listen to all that. Don't you? All right. Does that make sense? Interrogate reality. You're saying you spend a lot of time on that one. I know I'm going to have to move on to the next one. Oh, here, how about this? Let's go more lane blame. Life is curly. Quit trying to straighten it out. Use the word and a lot. Quit saying but. Adam's from Hebrew descent, and he's got a 5,000 square foot house on the marsh in Wilmington. Alex Avian's of Filipino descent. He's been free for the last 20-some years, travels the world, does what he wants to do. Wife went through cancer. He was able to be there with her, had great insurance, great money to pay the bills. What do you want me to tell you? I'm a redneck from Union Ridge. I got a home down here, live on an island. What do you want me to tell you? Quit trying to figure it out. Life's curly. Quit trying to straighten the hair of life out. All right, let's go to principle number 2. We're going to get through this. Can you describe accurately, interrogate reality? Number 2, come out from behind yourself into the conversation and make it real. How many of you think my conversation about interrogating reality is real? That's really who I am. How about you quit hiding behind this facade? Come out, be you. You ain't perfect. We all know it. Quit trying to act perfect like you somebody. That's real talk right there. You're trying to act like you somebody. How about get down here with the rest of us fools and let's talk about this thing and get this thing going, man? How about we get down here where the rubber hits the road? Okay. Conversation, make it real. Being as real is not the risk. The risk is I'll be known and I'll be seen and I might be changed. I'll be known, I'll be seen and I might be changed. I'll be known. See, most of us think one day they're going to come arrest us. One day they're going to come and laugh at us. One day they come in and make fun of us. One day they're not going to think we're a real person. You know why? Because we're going to be known. We don't want people to figure out who we are. So, I don't want to be seen. They don't want you to see your problems. I don't want you to know that I've done this, and I don't want you to see that I do this. That's what people worry about. They're not worried about it being real. They're worried about they be seen. So they don't show their authentic self. Why do people not want to tell you the truth? Because they don't want to change. Back to interrogate reality. They don't want to define reality, because if they define reality, then they'll be seen, known, and expected to change. And every single person hates change. I told Jeff, I said, look, most people don't want to be known because they're scared. He's like, otters don't mind being known. They want you to know who they are. But ask an otter to change, not going to happen. Ask a lion to change, he don't want to happen. So knowing who you know, it, come out from behind yourself and be real and authentic, and quit worrying about if somebody figures you out. Bonus point, if you want to be somebody, your stuff's going to come out, meaning somebody's going to find out bad stuff about you and good stuff about you if you move on. Another way to look at it, if you ever see a monkey or a baboon fly high up in a tree, you'll be able to see his butt. As a man or a woman climbs up in the tree, you'll be able to see their butt. As they move up in the organization, you will be able to observe their butt. And there's no attractive position looking up at an ape. I've seen them. Baboons, no attractive. Everybody's saying it's going to be a mess when you move up. You're going to be known, you're going to be seen, you're going to be expected to change. That's why people don't want to be real and authentic. That's why they don't have conversations with their people. That's why they don't want to lead, because they don't want to be known. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to be changed. So if they come out and have a fierce conversation with their agent or with their new person, they're afraid they might be seen, known, and asked to change. So you got to not worry about known, seen, and changed. Okay, known. When you're true to your personality, acting who you are through your behavior. When you are authentic, people trust you. If people don't trust you is when you're trying to be somebody you're not. You're a faker. You're a plastic face. You got a facade. You got something over you, and we can't tell who you are, and nobody trusts you. Real people, people trust. Seen, when you have a true spirit about you, liking who you are through your attitude, you're going to have enthusiasm. People that are shy, introverted, they think they're a worse person than they are. If they were happy with who they are, they would be way more enthusiastic. If you say, well, I'm just naturally not enthusiastic, you naturally don't think that you're somebody. When you're happy with who you are, you become enthusiastic. You become excited. When you know who you are down deep inside, you become more enthusiastic. Changed. When you're true to your character, knowing who you are through your awareness, perspective happens. Okay, when you have perspective, you're willing to change. Let's see if we can do this. If you know who you are, I know I'm a redneck, I know I'm 5'11", I know I got mediocre intelligence, then now I can change. And the way I changed is I became smarter on simple, stupid stuff that a lot of people don't think matters. I'm not going to reach for my coin, but I got a coin up there that says, what do I want? How do I get it? I'm tempted to go scrambling for it. What do I want? How do I get it? It's a success coin. I knew I wasn't that smart. I became smart on things that other people didn't think was smart because I found out that this mattered more than that. Perspective. What's your perspective? Do you think you're uppity? Do you think you blah, blah, blah? When you're real and you have perspective, now you're able to change. When you're real with people, you can get people to change. But when you try to be fake with people, you can't effect change. All right. Knowing who you are helps you accept people as who they are. Knowing who I am allows me to meet Megan with who she is, whether it be Megan Ferran, Megan Alleman, now Megan Yakey, and Megan Wood. Knowing who I am helps me accept them for who they are. People who can't figure out who they are have a trouble accepting other people. Prejudice people. I got a couple friends, woo-hoo, prejudice. You know why? They're not happy with who they are, and they don't know who they are, and then they're prejudiced. Because they don't know who they are, they can't accept me. Because they don't know who they are. Where I can accept them, they can't accept me. You with me on that? World War II veterans. Bo, them people right there, a lot of them don't like certain nationalities. Woo! They're not changing. They don't understand their history affects their view of the world now. And they can't accept that that's just history. It's not real. It was real then, but it's not real now. So they don't have perspective. If they could have perspective, they could realize that everything's changed. Everything's changed now. Boom. And they go, it ain't changing for me. I go, right. Because you're going to stay how you are. You're not willing to change. And you're not going to be able to change anybody else if you can't change your own perspective. Real conversations come from real people. Change is effected by people who are authentic. People who are not scared to be seen. They're not scared to make mistakes. They aren't scared for people to find out who you are. Be real and authentic with people, and you can have a fierce conversation, and you can create change. Principle 3. Let's go to slide 3. Make sure I'm getting my messages like crazy. Sleva, Diana Sleva was on the leaderboard. It's not Silva, it's Sleva. Y'all get that right. Thank you, Sleva. You're comfortable with who you are. I like that. You ain't scared to text. I love that. That's why you're selling so much. That's why other people don't. Because they're scared. Because they don't know who they are. Because their past views are jacking up their current views. They don't have perspective, Sleva. All right, principle 3. Be prepared, be nowhere else. Okay? Be prepared, be nowhere else. By the way, that book, Fierce Conversations by Susan Scott, is posted on Band, so you can look it up. I would read the book. Be prepared, to be nowhere else. We may succeed in listening to every word, yet miss the message if we choose to ignore the moment by not hearing. So there will be people who will hear this teaching and they will miss the moment. They'll miss the message, they'll miss the moment. I'm going to try to talk to you about how to catch the moment and catch the message. Okay, here he is. The message, one of the best ways to show respect. So if you're listening to me like this right here, it's going to cost you. Does that make sense? Like, I'm trying to help you. You got to listen like this, with a pen in your hand, listening with respect. Like, this is Mr. Albright. Now listen, I know I'm a redneck nobody who makes more mistakes than you. I know you're more perfect than me, okay? Woohoo! Mr. Albright's got a jet. I'm going to pay attention to what he's saying. Oh, this is big stuff right here. Oh, this is important. Now you won't miss the message and miss the moment. Respect for the audience. Respect for the book. I'm reading a book called The Way of the Wolf. By the way, that is a great book on sales. He is so accurate. I'm like, this guy made a lot of money. Was he perfect? No, but this guy made a lot of money. This guy got to help a bunch of people become millionaires. It's good stuff. I'm paying attention. I'm underlining. I'm taking notes out of respect from that crazy dude. What's his name? Look it up. The Way of the Wolf. It's that movie guy. Okay? I got it right here. Hold on a second. Sit right here. The Way of the Wolf. Jordan Belfort. Crazy, man. He's a beast. In my notes, it's respect. Right here. Respect. Intel. When I've got notes written, what do you put down here? I've got notes. It's showing respect. Okay. All right. I got to keep going. All right. Be nowhere else. Tolerance and empathy. I have people who get on my last nerve, except for one thing. They don't bother me a bit. If I listened to them and took it offensive, they'd get on my last nerves and I would kill them. Instead, I'm like, oh, I understand. I get it. I see where you're coming from. I try to put myself in their shoes. All right. People say, like, Andy, how do you tolerate him? I can influence him if I tolerate him. That makes sense? How do I tolerate him? I just do, because then I can influence him or her. Can't influence somebody that you can't tolerate. You ain't got no empathy for them. You ain't got no understanding for them. You can't influence them. Letting them in lets you in, and now you can move them. All right. Woo. Moment. One of the best ways to live in the moment is to recognize the opportunity. The time is now. I might learn something. I might get something. Most of us don't undertake our thoughts in awareness. Rather, our thoughts control us. Remember, you're not your thoughts. Your awareness is called mindfulness. Your mind. Where is your mind, and is it intentional? And your attention. So let me give you a tip. If you want to know, you say, hey, Andy, I'm in the moment. I get the message. Really? Don't look. Put a hand over the screen where you can't see me. Okay? Tell me what's the brand of my shirt. Tell me the color of my shirt. Tell me what words are on it. Tell me how many buttons are buttoned. Tell me what color my glasses are, what color my eyes are. Tell me if I've got on short sleeve or long sleeve. Tell me if I've got on short pants. What I'm telling you is, if you're in the moment and you're listening with respect, you will know everything I ask you. If you're failing to live in the moment, you're not remembering stuff. I promise you, if I'm in an important seminar, I'm in talking to the president of Forrester, the CEO of Forrester, the chief financial officer, Albright's paying attention to every single solitary tiny thing. When I'm interviewing a person, my staff says, hey, I got this guy, he's fantastic. I go, hey, nice to meet you. I listen to how fast he responds to me. I listen to his clarity of his speech, his ability to enunciate, his ability to be clear and simple. I'm in the moment. I'm mindful. I'm intentional. I'm trying to decide where he ranks in all the people that I've ever met recruiting. I'm very mindful and I'm very intentional. To have a fierce conversation, you need to be in the moment. You don't need to be anywhere else. You don't need to be out there on a beach. You don't need to be riding horses. You don't need to be shooting guns. You need to be in the moment when you're having a fierce conversation. Right on every detail. Right out of this book. I was just reading this. This is not the book we're talking about, but I was reading it, and it said, hear more than they're saying. What are they not telling you with their facial movements, with their hand movements, with their body language, with their tone, with their attitude? Hear more than being said in order to have fierce conversation. Be tolerant and have empathy and understand more of where the person is coming from to have a fierce conversation. Get more information than they're giving you. Okay. Principle 4, tackle your toughest challenge today. Remember what I'm telling you. This is how you talk to yourself, and this is how you talk to others. What's the big frog in the room? What's the biggest thing that needs to be done? What's your toughest challenge that you need to address? Burnout happens not because we're trying to solve new problems, but because we've been trying to solve the old problems over and over again. Okay. All confrontation of tough challenges is really a search for the truth that exists in each side of us. So fierce conversation is a confrontation. So confronting yourself over your toughest challenge. Confronting yourself over your toughest challenge. Confrontation of yourself. What's this girl's biggest challenge? No annuity production. What's this girl's biggest challenge? What's this man's biggest problem? Business won't stay on the books. What's this man's biggest problem? People got problems, you know. All right. Confrontation of the problem. Confronting. You know what confront means? It's apparently a Spanish word. Confrontation. Confrontation means with. And frontation means in front of. So if you're with me, I can confront you. If you're on my team, I can confront you. If I've been helping you and I've got money in the bank, I've got a friendship with you, I can confront you. Confrontation. Confrontation. People don't get burned out and they don't quit because they're doing the same boring thing. It's because they forgot why. So if me and you are together on you getting rich, which is our why, I can confront you on you not getting referrals. If we're with each other that you're going to get free, and if something happens to you, you still have money coming in, then I'm going to confront you on your recruiting. I can't confront until we're on the same page. I can't address your toughest challenge unless we're on the same page. Okay. Let's talk about this burnout side. People forget their why because of the boring, mundane stuff that they do. If you remember the dream, you can overcome the more mundane. So all you're focused on is mundane, then you can't think about the dream. Confrontation. If you know something must change, then know what it is you must change it. Know what it is who must change it. So if you never moved an annuity, if you've never got a referral, if your placement is terrible, your persistency is terrible, if you can't get a check, we must find out what you need to change. So now we got to start back over with number one and figure out where everything is. We got to address reality. Then we talk about coming to the challenge, and then we look at what we got to change. All right. So let's a little bit about this. Okay. I got to be mentally with you and physically with you. So I got to have you on the phone, and we got to be on the same page before I confront you. If all I do is confront you before I establish we're on the same page, Like if I call this girl up and I say, hey, you want to get rich and I want to get rich, right? You want to get rich in the same amount of time. You don't want to work harder. You want to work the same amount of time, but you want to be smarter. Well, you're already there. We got to work on this part. First of all, let's get on the same page. Make sure we're with each other. And then let's talk about what we need to do. Let's get with each other and then let's confront. This is the way you do it. Reminder for those of you that know, for a lot of you never heard this before in your life. First we get together, then we confront. Then we address the challenge. All right. So here's another question. I don't never know the right time to confront a person. When you're together and when you're with them. That's the right time. When we're on the same page and we're together. That's when we confront. All right. What do people do that don't do this? They beat around the bush. The opposite of addressing the toughest challenge. They beat around the bush. They bullshit. How's your mama? How's your daddy? How's your mama and him? It's nice weather. Blah, blah, blah. Andy's crazy. Blah, blah, blah. People out there, you know, got COVID-19. Blah, blah. They beat around the bush. They don't want to address the challenge. Why? Scared of confrontation. Why? They forgot the why. If you ain't got the why, then if you got the why, you don't want to confront. But if you get on the same page, now we can confront. Addressing the toughest challenge. Get with people and then confront people. Call them out. Let's get this thing done. We got the same dream, not burning out. Why ain't I just burned out? Let's remember the dream. If we remember the dream, then little bitty obstacles, the big dream, little obstacles, big obstacles, little dream, big obstacles. Mundane, big dream, big dream. If the dream's bigger than the mundane, we keep going. Okay, let's move on. Principle 5. Obey your instincts. This one's a tough one for people. Gut versus heart. People see right with their heart, but your gut knows. This is crazy. I'll read it. We'll read it together. It's only the heart that one can see rightly, but this essential is usually invisible to the eye, one's moral compass or lack of it. Therefore, there are things our gut knows about another's heart long before our intellect catches on. So this is written by Jeff Wright. Let me tell you what he's saying. I'm interviewing somebody, and I like them, and my heart goes out to them, but Missy says all they're worried about is going on a free trip. Her gut is telling her, and then when she tells me what her gut's saying, my gut starts saying the same thing, but my heart still wants to do the right thing. It's your gut and your heart, and then there's your brain. Your gut, your heart's going to be the lovey-dovey, your gut's going to tell the truth, and your brain's going to interpret between the two. And it helps me when I have Jane to give me some advice because she's got a gut feeling. A lot of times I got a heart feeling, she's got a gut feeling. Sometimes she's got a heart feeling, and then I got a gut feeling. Instincts. Okay. Heart. Your heart is how people treat you is their own deal, but how you react to them is your deal. So if a person treats you like dirt and you respond with dirt, then you're a bad person. They treat you like dirt. They treat you like crap. You don't do it. How you respond is your heart. How they treat you is their heart. That's what his heart is. How I treat him is my heart. My heart don't have to be like his heart. You define yourself. Nobody else defines you by what you do. You want to know a person's heart? Evan Patzer, the guy you're talking to, if you can understand him, that's what his heart desires. If you want to get his heart, understand him. What a person wants most is to be understood. Chris, that guy named Kerry, he wants to be understood. And if you don't understand him or disagree with him, he's going to run. You understand him, he's going to pull forward. And then when he gets results and you understand him, he's going to come forward. Same thing with Annette. Same thing with Tish. The more they are understood, you pull them towards you. When you pull them towards you, Now you can have confrontation because you're together. This all ties hand in hand. So your heart did not always think what your gut thinks or what your head thinks. Know that most people's heart gets them to make decisions, and then their mind backs up their heart. And their gut, a lot of times, is fighting against them, and the mind has to determine the gut and the heart and make up a decision. So if you can get the momentum by getting their heart, by understanding with empathy and listening and being in the moment and clarifying the reality without judgment, clarifying reality without blame, and then you get their heart, you're going to get the momentum. This makes fierce conversations unbelievably effective, brother. Okay. Gut. Most of us allow ourselves to be influenced or persuaded that the voice within us is mistaken, flawed, at best a distraction. Our radar works perfectly. It's the operator, not the wheel. Okay. Your feelings, your instincts are huge. Your mind interprets your feelings and your instincts. So if you're thinking this person is great, your gut tells them that they're good, your heart likes them, your mind backs it up, go in whole hog. Go in big with a lead purchase. I was talking to two young men today, and I said, have both of you or either of you said, I'm praying to God if I had an opportunity like that I had an opportunity to get rich, if I had an opportunity to make a difference, I would give it 100% of everything I got. They said, yeah. I said, then what are you doing? They said, we're standing right here in front of it, Andy. I go, right. I'm trying to have a heart and gut conversation with these young men that they will bring in their heart and they'll bring in their mind so that they can succeed. All right. Obey your instincts. You prayed for something, you found it, now go whole heart. You prayed for something, you found it, your instinct tells you to go all in. Go all in. Trust your heart, trust your gut. Let's go. All right, number 6, take responsibility for your emotional wake. What are you creating? All right. Your emotional week. When I hung up with those two young men, when I hung up with Mia yesterday, when I hung up with Stephen Davis, when I chatted with Adam Katz, what is the emotional wake? What will they remember from the conversation? When you have fierce conversations, people are going to remember an aspect of it. You either be remembered or you will be forgotten. Either be memorable or be forgotten. And what are you going to be remembered for? So, Andy, when you hang up this call, what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want to be remembered for? Authenticity, urgency, enthusiasm, wanting to help. What do you want to be remembered for? Take responsibility for the way people felt after you left them and how they remember the conversation. What you leave behind is critical. Our context, our purpose, I wanted to help you, whatever it is, your why determines the experience of the content or the material. So the way they feel determines what they will do. So the context is what and how. What and how. The context is the why. What are we trying to do? And the content is the what and the how. Tracking with me? So if you have the right content or context, where I'm coming from is context. It's in the right context. If you put it in the right context, then the content will be accepted better. I'm trying to help. I've talked to people in the past, they go, when I talk to you, I feel like you're trying to help. When I talk to him, I feel like he just wants premium. We both want the same thing, but it's out of context. The content, now, I have people that get the context right, and then they have no content. They got no what and how. The context is the why. A lot of people want to spend a lot of time on the context. Like, we got the context. Let's get down to the how and the what. Let's get down to what when the rubber meets the road. I got the context. Let's move. All right. So the context, the reasons we move forward, and the circumstances that shape the reason. You are broke. Your mama needs a place to stay. Your wife wants more stuff. Your children are going to go to college. This is the context. They're going to get married. You got girls. They're going to be expensive. You're going to get old one day. You're going to need somebody to wipe your rear end. You've got a lot of context for the conversation. The circumstances. What's the situation? What am I trying to do? Then there's the content. That's the effort that's contained within the work, the responsibility. What you gonna do next? What you gonna do now? What you gonna do to get results? That's responsibility. That's the content. And who's gonna do it? All right. People go to war and they keep fighting because of context and comrades. Cause and comrades. Commitment and buddies. Buddies, commitment, comrades, America, freedom, mean people. Context, commitment. Content, you with me? I hope you're with me on this. Why are we trying to do it? What do we need to do? I'm sticking with my buddy. I'm fighting with my buddy because we're fighting for freedom. What's the cause? What's the content? What are we going to do? We're going to charge. We're going to take that hill because of my buddy. Cause we want to be free. Cause it's America. We're going to get rich. Why? Because we going to travel the world. We going to take care of our friends. And you're counting on me. I'm counting on you. Okay. I said kind of something smart out when I was thinking about this. Forget the why. We working. I said, Simon Sinek, take your why, take a flying leap. We're going to work. What's the problem with that? Because after we work for a while and we forget the why, we're jacked up. We got to remember the why while we work. But we can't talk about the why forever. That's the other thing. Oh my God. Some people want to talk about, I just want to dream for a little bit. We've dreamed enough. We've dreamed enough. You're going to heaven. You're going to hell. You're going to have a lot of money. You got to pay for your kids. You want to have a car. I want to buy an island. Okay. Let's go to work. There's the why and there's the work. You can't put the work down here and the why up here. You can't put the why down here and the work up here. It's got to be like this. Work and why. Let's go. Let's get after it. Okay. Okay, last one. Silence. This is very difficult for me. America has a tendency to not want to shut up. I have a tendency to not like silence. So when I ask a person a question, I go, how many appointments you make? They don't say anything. I want to, did you make 12? I need to shut up. Let silence do the heavy lifting. Okay. Where there's simply a whole lot of talking going on, conversations can be empty of meaning. A lot of times when I'm talking to agents, that's what I feel like. They're talking. There's nothing to it. If you boiled it down, they ain't said nothing. An American characteristic is general discomfort with silence. It makes us nervous. We feel we're expected to interject witty comments and observations on the spot. Fierce conversations require silence. Fierce conversations require silence. Can you hear your own breathing when you're talking to somebody? When he's talking, are you listening to his fluctuations, his stutters, his misspeaks, words that he shouldn't even said? Pay attention to them. They're all clues as to what he's thinking and what he's feeling. What is his heart doing? What's his gut doing? What's his mind doing? Do you have enough silence when you're having fierce conversations with people? Can you hear their insight, their emotions? Have you listened to them enough to understand where they're coming from? And then can you have the fierce conversation? Okay. All right. How are you doing? How's the family? How's business? Well, pretty good. My mother, she's having some challenges. How many phone calls you do? Time out. Don't you think y'all figure out what he said? Did you not hear him say, my mother's got some challenges? What's going on with you, Mom? I don't need a book. I don't need a book, but I need to know why you mentioned that. Why did you bring that up? Listen carefully to people. You don't have to figure out everything, but you got to figure out enough to accurately identify where they are. You can't judge them. He loves his mama. Let him love his mama. I love my mama. You love your mama. Don't judge. Understand. Seek to understand. Listen for cues. You know what we're trying to accomplish. You know what the context is. Okay? Excuse me. You know what the content is. We know what we're trying to do. Let's figure out what the context, where are we coming from? Where do we live? We're thinking about moving. He's thinking about moving homes. He's thinking about buying a house, thinking about renting a house. When you have fierce conversations, do you listen enough that you can hear yourself breathing and listen enough, closely enough that you can see what they're really trying to say? And then do you trust yourself enough to be exposed? Because when you start talking to him or her, he's going to come back at you. And is your position defendable? Meaning, can you explain where you're coming from? And can he explain where he's coming from? I'm telling you, this is a great book. I hope this helps you. Thank you, Jeff Bright, for your insights. Leaderboards, please look at the leaderboards, cut and paste them, send them to friends, put it on band. Be proud that you're competing. And if you're way down the list, you're number 67, 167, 200, try to move up to 110. Just set yourself a goal of competing in this world of leaderboards. Hey guys, Thailand, Canada with the Foresters trip, here with the F&G trip. If I don't spend all the time talking to your people about all the trips and contests and the millions of dollars that we're incentivizing people, I need my leaders to have conversations of marketing, leadership, and fierce conversations. I'm calling for the leaders. I need you to have these conversations. You have a huge opportunity. If I can roll this stuff out June 1 like I want to, I'm working on a couple deals. This thing's going to get crazy. We're going to double, triple, blow up. A lot of people are going to become multimillionaires, write huge checks to their churches, huge checks to universities, crazy weddings, crazy cars. This is going to be a lot of fun. Here's conversations. Lead, baby, lead. Love you. I'm out. Thanks for tuning in to the TWC. Friday's going to be crazy. Agency managers, watch for an announcement where we're going to have only agency managers talking about another extreme bonus also. Shooting for Friday to do that. All right? Look for it. We'll be in touch. Love y'all. Bye.